Hi everybody, it's Thursday, it's Litsoc, first one of the new term. Happy New Year everybody!
Happy New Year!
Thank you very much, okay. We won't start with a rendition of Auld Lang Syne, we'll save that for the 29th of January when it's Robbie Burns night, or Burns night in Scotland. Speaking of Scotland, it's freezing up there, isn't it? Pouring snow. Schools are off, lucky them, but not us. We continue to toil in the pouring rain. Anyway, today it's what we read on our holidays, and hope everybody's got something that they enjoyed, not just reread. I'm going to start off today. Welcome to our two alumni. Nice to see you, Holly and Eleanor. Lovely for you to drop in. Thank you. So I read this, which came out literally in the end of November. Yeah. So it had my name on it. This is the last of the 6-part Northern Lights trilogy, which tells the tale of Lyra and the various universes that she explores. And the last one is called The Rosefield. It was quite a tome. I felt this while I was reading it in bed at night. Okay. And I can't say it really wrapped things up for me, because it didn't. But there was plenty happening, and Lyra grew up quite a bit. We were in the Middle East that was sort of sliding into war, but not in the same way as it is with us. Lyra and Pantalaimon, her daemon, get back together. I won't tell you the end, because I'm sure some of you want to read it, because you've read the Dark Materials first one. Okay. There are some wonderful characters, and she does go on a wonderful journey, and it finishes in yet another universe. It's called The Rosefield, this one. It's all to do with rose oil, and basically the rose oil, which in our world is very expensive. It's derived from rose petals. You can buy it and you can use it for cosmetics and perfumes and things. Here it's a symbol of exploitation, and so what Pullman's doing is he's looking at the exploitation of minerals and materials in the world, and what happens to people and the world when this happens. And unfortunately the Magisterium is still playing a large part in Lyra's life. Of course, that's the group of men who think they know better. So it's a good read, but it was a very disappointing end, I'm afraid. However, one thing I've got to do this year, which is part of my reading resolution, is to go back to the Fairy Queen, which was written in Shakespeare's time, before Shakespeare's time, by Edmund Spenser, because a lot of this trilogy is based on the Fairy Queen. If you haven't read Northern Lights trilogy, I really do recommend it. It is a wonderful, wonderful read, with all sorts of wonderful creatures, like the polar bears, the iron bears, Lyra and her various iterations of her demon, Will, and the knife, and lots of other creatures. So really worth it. He is still a fantastic writer, and he's very concerned about our imaginations and the effect of AI. So that's what I read, amongst other things. I'm on an Agatha Christie fest at the moment.
Christmas reading.
Yeah, one a night at present. So who's got up next? Lucy?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't actually have my book with me because
Can you remember what it's called?
Yes, I can. So I did reread the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I also read Good Girl, Bad Blood, which is the second book in the series. I haven't gotten to As Good as Dead yet. I've really enjoyed it as a second, because the Good Girl Guide to Murder first book was very good, and of course, it was quite, I don't know how to explain, but it's the second, yeah, and the second one it gave a more personal, it felt more personal, because a lot of murder mystery books are very, the actual detectives aren't very close to the murder, and so it doesn't feel like it needs to find out who it is so much. And so I really like the element of how close Pip was to the, not murder, but disappearance.
Okay, yeah. So you'd recommend it?
Yes, I definitely would.
And is it going to be as a whole series? Is it going that way?
I think it's a trilogy.
It's just a trilogy.
The trilogy is concluded, and it has been adapted as well for TV. And
yes, it has, yeah.
a lot of you have read it, haven't you? Anyone not read it?
I've read the first one.
Very few.
I haven't watched it. I watched the biggest fan of it, but I'm not the biggest fan of it.
You read it because everyone else read it, maybe?
My sister really recommended it, but
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very popular. So. But you enjoyed it too?
Yes, I did.
Right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Would like to go next? Thank you.
I'm not going to take like all that long because I mostly just reread books because that's what I usually do about around Christmas. I've also recently gotten into reading comics, so I got quite a few of them for Christmas, and I read quite a few of them, but like DC ones. But the main book that I read, it was a reread, but it's like one of my favorite books, and I don't think I've ever talked about it before, maybe once. It's called You Reach Sam, and it's quite a sad book. I've recommended it to quite a few people, and the people who read it said it was also really good. I think Annabelle's read it, and it's basically, my explanation isn't going to do it justice because there are some elements that get really confusing unless you've already read it, and it isn't like, for those reasons it might not appeal to some people, but basically it's got some paranormal elements that aren't really explained. That's why loads of people will find them like it confusing, but it's like, if you read it you realize it's not the aim of like it's not the main point of the story, because basically it's about a girl called Julie, and she plans like she's had loads of plans to leave the like town she lives in America, and go to university, and like she really wants to like leave this the life, like the small town life, and she doesn't fit in with loads of the people who live there, and then it's the same with like her boyfriend, and they plan to move out together, but one day, this isn't a spoiler by the way, it's all on like the blurb, I couldn't find out upstairs though, but one day he's like meant to be picking her up, and he forgets to, and when he's driving later to pick her up, like a van hits his car and he dies, and she's like really upset about it, and she grieves in a way that like means loads of her friends stop talking to her, because she at first like pulls away massively and starts acting kind of cold towards them, because she blames herself for it because he was coming to pick her up, and then some of Sam's friends blame her as well, and so that impacts her a lot. And it's basically it like explains like, it's a book kind of explaining grief, and like shows like how different people deal with it and like get over it, well, not get over it, but like how it fades a bit over time, but the main part of it is, this is also not a spoiler, but when she's one day she goes to like meet with her friend who is Sam's cousin, and she, because of this girl's been kind of like mean to her because she's missed his funeral and like all of the like celebrations of his life that have happened, and everyone expected her to be there, but she didn't show up, and then so she meets with this girl, and she's like, why didn't you show up? I can't remember her name, but and then when she's leaving, she remember like the grief kind of hits her again because she's been trying to block it out, and so she like calls his phone so that she can hear his voicemail, because like he had left her a bunch of voicemails, and then like when she goes to call him back, when she goes to call him to hear the voicemail or something, he ends up like picking up. And that's like the paranormal element, but it's not like expanded on much, which at first I was like, are they going to explain it? But like when you reach the end of the book, it's like not, you realize more that that's not like the main theme of the book, isn't the fact that like he should be dead, but he's calling her. But it was a bit sad because I spent the entire book thinking that he could call because he wasn't actually dead. And then when I reached the end of the book, I realised that he was, and I was a bit sad. But it has a really, really sad ending as well. And I loved it because it seemed, it was really like realistic. And she's not like I wouldn't say she's a main character that you see often, because in some ways she's quite unlikable because of the way she reacts to things that have happened to her. I've seen quite a few people who said that they don't like her because of the things she does, and it's not necessarily that she's a bad person, but it's just how grief affects her. But I thought it was really good. It's one of my favourite books.
Remind us what it's called again.
It's called You've Reached Sam.
Right.
Yeah.
A study of grief over Christmas.
Yeah, well, I just really like it. I like rereading books when it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Cover reading is great.
Yeah. And it's also not very long, so you can read it like in one night. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, who would like to go next? Right, the library's coming up then.
We've got 3 books.
Whoa.
What are these?
Okay, this isn't actually all of them. So, over Christmas time, or like generally in a half term, I decide I'm a nocturnal animal. So I don't go to sleep. Instead, I read in my bed. So the first thing that I read was the first 3 books in the Cruel Prince series. People are going to hate me for this, but I didn't continue because I didn't like it.
All right, well, that's the end of that then.
Yeah, basically.
Thank you.
I just
no
didn't
reaction
understand.
either, so
Oh,
okay, no
okay.
controversy. No controversy.
I didn't like it either.
There you go. Agree.
Yes!
I actually haven't read the other books, though. I've only read the first trilogy.
It's okay. I'll put it as that.
Damned with faint praise. Okay, what's next then?
So then I read the Powerless series, which was a very easy read, but it's also very much it has a lot of stock characters. I don't know if that's the right word.
Can you name for us a stock character?
Like-
We're talking about a goth character. Gothic.
No, this isn't a gothic book. It's fantasy.
Dog.
It's fantasy.
Which has gothic overtones.
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
So
What's the stock character?
it's like the cocky male main character that's very I don't want to say full of himself. I can't do it. It's just kind of it gives Hunger Games, but different. It gives Hunger Games if it was about powers.
Oh, it gives Hunger Games vibes. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
they go into purging trials, and then
Just like Hunger Games.
and then they meet there, and then it's also, when you have a forced proximity book, but they do it in the way where it's they're opposites.
Okay.
I think
But-
it's supposed to be really ridiculously similar to Red Queen.
Yes, that's the other thing. A lot of people online bash this author because some of the scenes from that author's book, The Red Queen, are identical.
Oh no, that's
Plagiarism.
really bad.
Yeah, but
Plagiarism with different words.
exactly, they've changed characters' names and changed settings. So
Not good.
yeah, but I like the novellas more than the actual series. So yeah. Then I started reading this book because I heard people say it's really, really good. I ordered it from Amazon and it turned out to be a floppy book, which made me very upset. So look, no, look, these books aren't as floppy.
Yeah, those have got book jackets on them.
Yeah, but they still not.
Floppy books are the best kind of.
I don't like them because they slip out my
Especially
hand.
if it's a big floppy book, and so when it slides, it goes like.
Is
It
it?
makes a sound, yeah.
You guys are weird.
Frida, is it printed in America? Is that what the problem is?
I have
no, it'll
no.
say inside.
I think it's to do with the direction of the grain on the paper when they cut it.
It's these ones.
Get technical now.
I saw something about it. I don't know.
Yes.
Looks suspicious.
All right.
Anyway,
Yeah,
let's not
printed
get hung
and
up on
bound
that.
in
Let's-
USA.
It's more about the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I started this book.
Yes.
So far, I haven't read that much of it, so I can't talk that much about this book. But I will say that this is kind of going similarly to this one. Because I see a female main character that's different to the rest of the contestants. I see the main character that's got brown hair and brown eyes. So, the male main character. So I think, yeah.
2 questions. Is it a dark fantasy?
I don't know.
It sounds like it to me, and I
mean-
don't know if you guys agree with me. I think it's too much for it right now.
It's a romance.
There's a massive avalanche. They're endless.
I have a friend who started reading that. She didn't like it.
Okay.
You have to
Second
get through
question,
all of
is
the
it a book?
series to actually
Is it a
like
book?
it.
It is a book.
Right. So that as well.
I read the first two.
They're all good books,
Side
aren't
of
they?
it.
I'm reading the last
Fantasy
one now
service.
in the series.
Alright.
And then for health,
Anything that
I read non-fiction, and I was really proud of myself about that.
Non-fiction.
So I read a biography from Alan Sugar called "What You See Is What You Get." It was really funny.
Chris said he's a big fan of Will Sugar, I just found out.
Like, because I was watching the The Apprentice they had on around Christmas time, and then
celebrity one or the other one?
the one that was like they went to like Lapland for a couple of days. Yeah. So I watched that, and it was really interesting because I've watched The Normal Apprentice before, but that was kind of just to make my parents happy. But I actually found this. Yeah, I like invested. So I got the book, and he's actually really, really funny, and it's actually.
Nice to know.
It was really inspirational, his like journey up,
Oh, okay.
because like starting on a count's estate to literally becoming a lord and having a game show about you. So I thought that was pretty cool. But then also something I thought was pretty cool is that we were born in the same hospital.
There you go.
In the same, well, not in the same month, but
Certainly not the same year.
yeah, same month, different years. But yeah, I was really happy about that. But I really liked that book because it shows him like tackling anti-Semitism, and then he's like him growing from that, and him like showing dominance in the world. It's like, hey, I'm here, and he like really made sure everyone knew about that. And the other non-fiction I read was Ahead of Public Speaking, because I had no idea what to do. I got this book called Great Speeches from Powerful Women, which is like multiple authors. I read it. I quite liked it. There were some speeches I thought, I don't know. There were some speeches I thought were just a bit odd. Like some speeches.
Can you be a bit specific?
Okay, some speeches were talking just about why. One of the speeches, I don't remember who did it, was talking about why speeches shouldn't be put on people. Like, you know, when someone says at a wedding, you should do a speech. And it was a wedding speech from a random person that I think went viral, and that's how it ended up in the book. But it was a good book, because, like, I liked the ones from Emma Watson at the, like, He for She campaign. I liked the ones from, like, Oprah and that kind of thing. But, yeah, that was, like, yeah, that's all I read.
Okay, well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's very, very good, in fact.
Well
Lots
done.
of reading. So whether it was wonderful or not, well done. Nice to hear about Alan Sugar as well. He's quite a nice person.
He's revised their opinion.
Have you met him?
No.
No.
You said he's
No,
a-
we haven't met. We can only go based on what we see on The Apprentice, basically.
Do you not like him?
Not particularly.
She does now.
But I
I'm
found
afraid
I'm
of-
prepared
when
to have
he
my mind changed.
Yes, be
When-
open-minded.
But why
when he
don't
does
you
the
like
"You're
him?
fired" thing, every single time there's a different watch.
Because
Well, not everything.
his, I mean, I know it's all a game show, but the way he comes over on The Apprentice, it's really, well,
Intimidating.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
To be honest, I found that like quite drawing because it almost makes me more interested in the show. Like I'm scared of him. Like, you know the mean teacher that you have that you really want to impress?
Yeah.
It's like that.
No.
Yeah,
Not gonna say.
I have a teacher like that.
Oh, okay.
Have you got to know
We'll
now?
not talk
Oh.
about it because we're
Yeah.
on camera.
Yeah,
Thank you
so-
very
But-
much.
I like all my teachers.
Good-o.
Love my teachers.
Good-o.
Okay,
That
that's
is
it.
the right thing to say on camera.
Right.
Well done.
very
Thank
much.
you, Frida. Right, who's next,
Yeah,
guys?
well done. Right, it's 4:30 if you need to go, anybody. Annabelle, do you need to go? No, we're okay.
All okay?
Okay, so I have a problem. The books I read, one I'm not going to talk about because they're
That's fine. That's
they're a
fine.
year
That's
8.
no problem.
Another was already mentioned, so I'm
yeah,
going to
okay.
talk about the. So I read the Powerless series, the Heartstopper series, but that's because my friend dared me, and I ended up loving it, and I've now finished the TV series
Oh,
too.
that's good.
See,
Recommendations do work.
yeah, I also read Haunting Adeline. And I read the Fourth Wing series.
Oh, Regiaris.
Yes. But I like to talk about this one book I read, which I found really, really amazing just because, like, it was different from all the different fantasy novels. So,
What is it?
it's Fourth Wing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, it's quite a violent, very gory book, but it's raw in the way where it's different from other books, apart from the enemies to lovers, like they kiss in like chapter 10 and there's no slow burn or anything. But it's really creative, and the perspectives, it's not a two-person perspective, it's a one-person perspective. And and the girl, Violet Sorrengail, she's very honest with herself. She's determined, even though she feels deep down she's not good enough. So it follows the story. So in this book, there's like different quadrants. The only two I can remember off the top of my head are it's the scribes quadrant and the
Has anyone else read this?
battle quadrant. I honestly can't remember.
This one, I read it ages ago and I put it down partway through, but there was the healers one. And there was
Healers, scribes, like soldiers or
A little
something.
bit divergent. This.
Is this what they live in?
No, it's like what they're assigned to for their jobs.
they do somewhat choose, but like
They do choose, or they're forced to by their mothers, which is what happened to Violet. So she was meant to be a scribe. She's not strong or lean or has the body so much as has the strength to be a fighter, like a dragon rider. That's what they're called. But her mum, she's like the leader, and she won't have her daughter be a scribe. So she's forced to go to Basgiath War College, which is very violent. If you die in the first year, then
That's normal.
you haven't even, if most people die before they've even got to the college because they have to pass this parapet, and it's quite sad. And she meets one of her enemies, Xavier, and they're like enemies. Duh. And she makes this friend called Rhiannon who she saves from falling off the parapet by giving her shoe, which is very sweet. And I just thought it was a very good book. It was quite honest. It wasn't like fantasy novels in the way that like
It didn't plagiarize other books.
it didn't plagiarize other books, and also like the names were creative, the ideas were original, and also like the different types of magic. And for someone whose first book was so good, I'm just like, that is incredible. That's kind of the stuff that you see after like the fourth or fifth series, after you've had so much work. But the author's a mother of 6 kids. Don't think she works, and her husband's a soldier. So to write something as good as that is pretty amazing.
There's 2 sequels as well, aren't there?
Yeah.
and they're all like over 1,000 pages.
Might I add, this is a book talk book.
Yeah, well, I was just saying not every book talk book is bad.
They're really long.
Some are very
They are creative.
I just downloaded Book Talk. I'm not going to listen to their recommendations though, because most of them are etc. They're kind of the same.
Yeah, that can be a problem. Alright, good stuff. Thank you, Stella.
Who's up next? Georgia? Sure.
You can go next time. Okay.
So I read quite a few things over Christmas. I read the second and the third book in the Hunger Games, which I got for Christmas. Yeah, they were good. I also did read The Red Queen, which has been mentioned. To be honest, to start with, I thought it was a lot like the Hunger Games at the start. The first bit and like where she lives was very similar. And then I've been reading this, which I still am because it takes a while. So The Lord of the Rings. I've already read The Hobbit a couple of times, and most of you know that me and Lucy did a Litsoc on it. So I started reading Lord of the Rings, which I also got for Christmas. It's very hard going. I know a lot of adults who didn't have the courage to read it. So I'm quite proud of myself for actually starting. But it's very different to The Hobbit, I think. In The Hobbit, it felt like they got to Rivendell in 2 days, but in this it takes them a month, so I didn't quite understand that.
It's a more dangerous route.
It's much more dangerous.
Yeah.
Much more dangerous because they're being pursued and they've got to throw off the pursuit. And it's a different audience.
Yeah.
You have to think of it a bit like, because there's a long time between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. There really is. I know it doesn't seem like it is now, but there's at least 20 years. And behind it is all the mythology to do with Middle Earth, which you only get in the last book, when it's all the appendices. So there's much more to it. And also, of course, we start with Bilbo, and then Frodo takes it on. And the other thing that you won't get in the film, is Tom Bombadil. We don't get Tom Bombadil until we get to the Rings of Power that Prime have made.
Played by Rory Kinnear, who guested for us at Litsoc last year.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So that's why he's basically, it's much more of a quest than The Hobbit is.
Yeah, I mean, the text is tiny.
Yeah.
It's really small. So it feels like it takes me ages to read one page. But it's good. They're still at Rivendell at the bit, but I'm over halfway through. So, I think they're probably going to be leaving soon. But I don't know.
They leave soon. You know the rough story, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit confusing to start with. I was quite confused with the whole moving house thing. I didn't.
With Frodo.
Yeah.
Yes. But again, it's disguise, you see.
Yeah. But
again, they
just spent so long on it.
Yes.
I thought that I was a bit confused, really, because when they first set off, I thought they'd actually started going on the quest, because it was taking a while. But once you get into it, it is good.
Believe he's going to have to leave. It's only because Gandalf doesn't arrive and the riders that he's driven out. And of course, the other thing with Frodo is he's quite young still. Not in our age, but in his age. And so he has to start making decisions on his own without being told to do them, and that's part of the joy of it as well.
Yeah, so it is quite hard to start, but it is worth it if you get through it because it is good.
And who's your favourite character so far?
I like, is it Sam? Is that his name? Yeah, Sam. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Well done. Keep going.
Yes, you will. It is worth it.
I have a couple of things to talk about. Because over the Christmas holidays, I didn't read any books cover to cover because I was quite busy. But I did get a book for Christmas called The Island, and I've started reading it a couple days ago, and I'm really enjoying it. It's about a group of teenagers who go on holiday to Thailand, and it's
we thought you were talking about a different book. Carry on.
And it's very obvious there's secrets and stuff has happened with that group of friends before. They go on this dream holiday vacation, and it's narrated, it swaps narrators, but this one girl, you can tell that something's going to go wrong. And it sets quite an eerie start to the book, because it starts with them on their holiday island, and the guy who's touring them around the fruit trees has a stroke, and they have to take him to the land. So
shock horror immediately.
Yeah. So it does set quite an eerie tone to the book, which does mean it's going to be I think it's quite good at the moment, because I always read quite eerie books in January to match the mood. But it's very good so far, but I haven't read much. And I found a book on my Kindle
that I thought I'd finished that turns out I hadn't finished, and it was one of the Holly Bourne ones. I think it was You Could Be So Pretty.
That's one of the more recent ones, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I stopped reading it because I don't know why I didn't, but I carried on reading it, and I really, really enjoyed it, because it's this dystopian book about a world, and it's centered around teenagers, and they have to apply masks every day, like makeup, and they have to enter in these beauty pageant sort of things called the ranking, where every single girl sends a photo of themselves and they get ranked. And at the end of the book, it said, on the last page, it said,
Don't say it. That's the whole point.
No, it's not.
No, because you read all that book thinking it's dystopian, and the whole point
No.
is at the end.
No.
Right, we're going to have a spoiler here,
It's,
are we?
I don't think it is a spoiler.
I thought so.
I won't describe it in a way that it is a spoiler, but you realise how close it is to reality.
Yes. Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yes.
And
It is, isn't it?
it's reading it, you realise this isn't just a book, and I think it's really clever the way she's written it, and I would definitely recommend it.
So, how did you come to find it? Was it recommended from Kindle?
I have no idea.
No. Okay.
It's because I had it on my Kindle. I
Yes,
was
but
reading
I just
it.
wondered how you'd found it.
I think I just read another Holly Bourne book
Right, okay.
and then was
Yeah.
Yeah.
reading other
One book
ones.
leads to another sort of.
Yeah.
And I'm also reading Jane Eyre, but it's quite a hard book to read. And I've been reading it for a while, but I read it when I read it for a long time, and then I don't read it for quite a while. So,
So, how far have you got?
because it's quite hard to dip in and out. I think I'm 2/3 the way through.
Where is she now?
Well, she's out of the boarding school.
Yeah. She's at Thornfield.
Yeah,
Has Mr. Rochester come home?
yeah, and yeah.
We had the big reveal of what happens in the attic.
No.
We haven't yet.
Okay.
No.
But it's because
Has he
when I
fallen
read it,
over? Has she rescued him from
Yeah,
the fall?
yeah.
Right, okay.
and because I always, with books like this, with classics, whenever I start reading it again, I remember everything. But when I leave it, because it's quite a hard book to dip in and out of and read a chapter, because when I read it, I want to read a big chunk, that I forget the plot.
But you remember it once you come back to it.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. I think because it's a real world. It is a real world. It's a lot of it's based on her experience, not Mr.
Yeah.
Rochester, but the boarding school.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's set in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
It's set not far from Sheffield, actually. And I've been to the house that Thornfield's based on. You can go and stay there, in fact. It's not as big as Thornfield. But because she's not necessarily very likeable. Do you like her?
No, she's really annoying.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I'm annoyed by her.
Yeah, it's only going to get worse by that for a bit.
But I quite like. This sounds a bit weird, but I quite like it when they're annoying, the main characters,
Yeah,
because it makes me get really invested in the plots of other people,
yeah.
because I really don't like her. So it's kind of
But it's the same with Lyra in Northern Lights. She's very annoying.
She is
She's
annoying.
incredibly annoying, but we stay with her.
yeah, because that is one of my favourite books of the childhood. But
Sorry.
yeah, I think
Stick with it because it
Yeah.
is worth it.
It's a great book.
Pleased.
It is a great book.
yeah,
Be pleased when you finished it because it is a wonderful story.
yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the great romances of all time.
But I haven't been in a really good lots of reading books, because over the summer I think I read something ridiculous 16 books or something.
But it'll come
But
back. Come back.
and now it's just I've lost it all, because
No, you won't. It'll
Yeah.
come back.
It's happened to us as well, you know.
Yeah.
It happens to us all the time.
I feel when you get loads of good books one after the
Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
you're I can't find any anymore.
In the first 3 months of last year, I read 36 books, and the rest of the year I read 7.
There you
It's
go.
about,
Really
we'll talk about
awesome.
reading
Yeah.
aspirations in a minute.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, thank you,
Nice
Annabelle.
mixture. Really good.
Right, who's next? It's 4:45, by the way, in case anyone needs to go.
Okay. Here.
I've just started Jane Eyre as well, so
Oh, wow.
I've been enjoying that, but I'm not going to talk about that. I've got The Children of Jocasta. This isn't the book I read, it's also a Natalie Haynes book.
Oh, so it's about Antigone and...
Yeah, this is about Antigone and Jocasta and the other children. But I read No Friends to This House, which is Natalie Haynes' newest book, and that one's about Jason and Medea, and it's so good. I really, really recommend. Like, her writing, I think in that, it's gotten better. It's, like, incredibly, like, emotional. There was one scene where I could feel all of Medea's, like, distress and, like, competing emotions, and it was really, really good. So I really recommend that. And it's, like, obviously it's mostly from Medea's perspective, but it also, like, there's a lot of different, like, point of views. Like, I think she does a bird at one point. She tells from the point of view of a bird, which is really...
Is there a bird sitting in the tree? I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a bird sitting in the tree, and Jason captures it and sends it through the Symplegades, like the clashing rocks, to check if they can go through. And you get that point of view,
Okay.
which is interesting. Well, it survives, so it's fine.
Oh, that bird.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really good, and I really, really recommend.
Oh, good. There's another potential classic from her then. That's great. She keeps turning that out, doesn't she?
She does, yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Anyway, that's what I read.
Brilliant.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Anybody want to slip in quickly?
Yep.
So I was reading All That's Left in the World by... Wait, I just forgot it. By something Brown. Someone.
Alright, yeah, there's a story. Yeah.
And it's basically a dystopian about there's a super flu that's just gone through.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, and like based on the COVID a bit. And like a lot more people die and there's barely anyone. And it's about two boys that meet because one of them got caught in a bear trap. And they like travel.
Yeah.
And they travel like around America, and they're kind of trying to find somewhere where they can be safe, but then they meet loads of people and they kind of have to do different things like find relatives of other people and stuff.
Surreal.
Sounds a bit like a less horrific version of The Road, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking The Road mixed with something a bit more bizarre.
Yeah.
That sounds a bit.
Reminds me of the cats who meet along the way. It's a bit similar to that.
Ah, yes, that's a good one. Yeah. Yeah.
And like when I was reading it, I was thinking like, how are they ever going to find like a nice ending in this really torn apart world? And I think he ended it very well, because I don't want to spoil it, but it was a very good ending, surprisingly.
It's extraordinary how often this theme comes up in every generation since I was a teenager. We've had something similar, whether it's apocalyptic bomb after the atomic bomb. The first one I ever remember was it was a COVID-like virus that had basically somebody was carrying a vial, a flask full of something a bit like pneumonia, and it spread across the world, and only pockets of survivors survived, and very similar people had to find each other again, and then we did have a happy ending, but not the happy ending that the whole of the country wanted, because loads of us were watching it. This was before we only had 3 channels at the time. So, Yeah, it keeps coming up. It's a big theme, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was surprising, like, there wasn't loads of violence, but since there was less people to, like, be farmers, there was, like, barely any food or, like, anything, so there was a lot of competition as well. Yeah, so.
All right, thank you, Charlotte.
Anybody else? No, Mr. Humphries.
So I'll be quick. Now, I'm not actually going to talk about this one because, well, we mentioned it before, and this is the Booker Prize winner. Remember the Booker Prize when we did the bingo? The reason I'm not going to talk about it is because we're actually going to do a Litsoc, and it's kind of based around this plus other things. That's all I'll say. But what I will say is that it is the best Booker winner that we've had for a few years. It is better than the other ones we had, in my opinion, because I've read most of them now. It towers over them. And all I will say is, hands up if you have watched or heard of Adolescence. Definite shades of that in this, I would say. So hopefully that's whetted your appetite for when I talk about it later. But what I have read, I will talk about. First of all, The Librarianist. It's about a librarian, yeah. So of course I'm going to read that by Patrick DeWitt, who has also been book shortlisted in the past. And essentially, the basic story is: retired librarian comes across a woman who's clearly got dementia in his local store, takes her back to the nursing home, asks if he can volunteer there. He says yes, and then after a while volunteering, he finds out that the woman is actually his ex-wife. Yeah. And then there's flashback from there, and it's very effective, very moving, a bit sad, but also quite uplifting. So I really enjoyed it. Yes?
I'm sorry, does the librarian have dementia?
No, the woman he came across in the shop.
Then how did he forget?
Because, doesn't recognise it because they were briefly married when he was in his early 20s, and then she ran away with his best friend. I know, right? Shocking. So, yeah, that is that.
Unacceptable.
I think, so it's very good. Maybe I should get it for the library so you guys can read it because you sound interested. And the other one, I showed tonight. I reread things. I read the new Asterix book. I'm a big Asterix fan. Any Asterix fans in the room?
Sort of.
No. It's Asterix in Lusitania, which is Asterix in Portugal. A lot of fun. And I also read Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Philosophy, which is exactly what it sounds like. Philosophical essays on Buffy, the ethics of Buffy, moral choice, philosophy of mind. Any Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans in the room? Yes, Eleanor.
Yeah.
Anyone else? No? Okay, let me ask another question. Any Twilight fans in the room?
Once upon a time.
It is Twilight, only much, much better because it has messages of empowerment rather than accepting being passive damsels in distress.
They sit around and do
Yeah.
that for eternity.
Yeah, it's much better. And also, it was revolutionary TV in its own right, yeah? So broke a lot of ground with many of its episodes. And I should do a Litsoc on it one day, but we haven't got around to it yet. So, yeah, that's what I read. And I reread it. I reread A Christmas Carol because I always do. Right, so that's me. Now, I've only got a few minutes. Are we doing pledges? We're talking about...
Oh yeah, reading aspirations. Now, this time last year, this is what we did. Now, can anybody remember theirs?
I can't.
I can't remember doing it. I said.
Yeah, I'm not sure we did it last year. We have done it before, but I don't think we did it last year. Right, if I give you one of mine, I might have others.
All right. So Mr. Humphries will tell you his, and then next week you have to have written it down, and we'll keep it until next year. Okay? Yep. And then we'll see whether you fulfill that reading aspiration. It's not about numbers really, it's about exploring new things, I think. We've got an awful lot of dystopian fans.
Yeah, and dark fantasy.
And reading passports with nothing but dystopia.
Yeah.
So perhaps we could have a little bit of exploration of the rest of the 14,000 books in this library.
Quite.
I mean, what other like what other good fiction genres are there?
Historical.
So many.
Historical fiction are wonderful.
Be open-minded. Be open-minded. Yes, it is. There's some great historical fiction out there. Robert Harris, great author.
Because it's history, which is fact, but it's fiction.
No.
You may as well say that about any fiction if that's your argument.
Yeah, like I read a book about like the Blitz and everything's
So good. Yeah.
There's plenty.
Philippa
Plenty.
Gregory, Natalie Hayes.
We could reel off a huge list. There you go. You got some hackles up over here by saying that. I hope you realise. All right. Now listen. Obviously, now I'm someone who's read. I have read all 14,000 books in the library. Remember? I'm joking. Yeah, of course I joke. But to give you an example, I have got some gaps in classics. Stella, I've got some gaps in my classics because I haven't read any classics for a long time. And I was thinking, what haven't I read? I haven't read as much Thomas Hardy or George Eliot as I would have liked to. I've only read. Of Thomas Hardy, I've only read Jude the Obscure and Tess of the D'Urbervilles, so I'm going to read Far from the Running Crowd. I haven't read that. I know the story. I've skimmed it, and from what I understand, by his standards, it's actually quite uplifting rather than bleak.
Dark side, but yeah.
Yeah, but compared to Jude the Obscure, which I was just made me feel very, very depressed at the end. I understand it's more uplifting. So yeah, and George Eliot, I've only read Silas Marner and The Mill and the Floss. So no, not Mill and the Floss, Middlemarch. So Mill and the Floss seems like the obvious one to read. So that's an example of a pledge, because for me, I've kind of read. Maybe there is a genre I haven't tried, but maybe nothing springs to mind. But yeah, that's an example of a pledge, because that's clearly a little bit out of my comfort zone. I've just said I haven't read any classics for a few years, brand new, that I haven't read before. So there you go. Okay, so do we think between now and next week we can think of something along those lines, folks? Yeah.
Might be to explore a particular
I don't think.
Was that a question, sorry?
Can you put it on Satchel
Can you what?
Can you put it on Satchel 1?
No, I can't put it on Satchel 1 because there is no Litsoc subject on Satchel 1. I'll send you an email to remind you, okay? Right, so Miss Honey, do you want to wrap up?
You're like me with Stalk and Show Me.
Okay, so aspirations are for next week. All right, we're not going to quiz you on them. We're just going to take in your list or whatever, your name or whatever, and put it away, and then we'll see. You have to remember. Okay, we're not going to quiz you on it. We're not going to discuss it. All right, and so that everybody can be beaten over the head when they don't make it. All right, because things intervene. I remember aspiration from years ago, which Crime and Punishment. It's still sitting on my Kindle 10 years later. So one of these. Yeah. Anyway, next week we are celebrating the 100th anniversary of one of our mascots. No, Winnie the Pooh. That's right. Yeah. Okay. It's his 100th birthday, and all the animals from Ashdown Forest. Okay, so that's what we're doing next week. So come prepared to talk about your favourite character, or whether you are a Tigger or a Piglet or a Pooh, okay, which is what celebrity writers have been talking about on Radio 4, okay? So if you're very lively and like an awful lot of active things, then you are a Tigger, yeah. If you're a little bit shy and need a little bit of support, you are a Piglet, yeah. If you're a good friend and understanding and a good listener and love honey, you are a Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. Okay. So we'll say goodbye now. Yes. Bye, everybody. Bye. Enjoy watching and have a good week, everybody.